Frankly, we have to resist the dark temptation to turn this council into a Politburo of groupthink and indoctrination. To remind ourselves that voting age Londoners are intelligent adults, so let's treat them as such.
What is going on here? This is London City Council in Ontario, June 4th, 2024. Ward 10 Councillor Paul Van Meerbergen is like the city's last stand with sanity.
They are certainly capable of making their own decisions when it comes to lawnmowers and lawn equipment. Frankly, we have to resist the dark temptation to turn this council into a Politburo of groupthink and indoctrination. I will not support any part of this motion. Thank you, Mayor.
Councillor, I would just ask that you not use the language that you used there. I think you should retract the groupthink. I don't think anybody here is group thinking. We're all capable of making our own decisions, and I think we do that on a regular basis.
Everybody's mad at him, but he remains unbudging.
Given the divided votes. So I would ask you to retract that, and I think we hear your other comments pretty clearly.
With respect, no, that's my opinion, and I want to share that opinion.
Another councillor has proposed a curfew on gas-powered lawn and gardening equipment after 6 p.m. in the city. Obviously overbearing, over-controlling, and unreasonable, especially since the stated goal is to nudge citizens into climate emergency thinking. It was retracted since the citizens of London went crazy when they heard that. Still, the worry is the overreach, the reaction too. Watch how Councillor Van Meerbergen receives chilling feedback for daring to point out that this was all a bit much.
We're talking here about trying to indoctrinate a certain point of view to the people of London through their own election.
Okay, Councillor Van Meerbergen, I have a point of privilege to deal with now, so you're going to have to stop speaking until I deal with the point of privilege. Councillor Rahman.
Thank you, and through you, I guess my indoctrination isn't working since I'm speaking against what you're saying, but I think the councillor owes us an apology for that. Okay, so on the point of personal privilege, I have to say I agree with the councillor. To Councillor Van Meerbergen, I'm going to ask you to retract the term indoctrination. Nobody is doing indoctrination here. That is not how council operates, and you can express your very clear opinion, but we're going to do so respectfully and with language that does not make significant assumptions about other councillors and what influences their votes. So I would ask for you to retract that, and if you choose to, you can rephrase it, but you need to retract the term indoctrination.
Okay, so once again, with respect, to my knowledge, I have not used any unparliamentary language. I have not singled out any individuals. I'm calling this a temptation. It's a temptation to go towards that area, and so that was clearly spelled out in my words, and so I will not retract, because we do have freedom of speech within our limits.
Yes, Councillor, and I'm asking you to retract the way you said it the first time, the way you said it when you said it was a temptation to go down a path that is very different from outright saying it, which is what you said. Well,
here's what I said. Frankly, we have to resist the dark temptation, I used the word temptation, to turn this council into a Politburo of groupthink and indoctrination. That's it.
Get off my lawn.
So, on the point of personal privilege, which is still active, although I do not agree with the, I will say it this way, may not be the approach that I or perhaps other members of council would take in the phrasing of language, but I do think the word temptation changes the context of the councillor's comments, irrespective of what you feel about them. So I'm going to deem
that adjusted language is dealing with the point of personal privilege, and the point of personal privilege is dispensed with. And you can challenge the decision of the chair on that if you like, but we'll leave it at that. And if the chair is challenged, I can outline the next steps. But this would be the point if you want to do that. Otherwise, I'm going to deem this
I have another point of privilege
a point of privilege.
on this.
Okay, well, you need to deal with, this one is dealt with. So unless you're challenging the chair, this one's going to be dealt with. So this is your time to do so. If you're going to call another point of privilege on the exact same thing, it's better to just deal with challenging my decision than doing a second one. If it's completely unrelated point of personal privilege, then I can entertain that. I just want to be clear. I don't want you to lose your opportunity to challenge my decision on that.
It's not specifically related in terms of the word that you're calling out. I take issue with being referred to as the Politburo. I think it's out of line. I think that language is inappropriate. This isn't the Cold War. This isn't the Committee of Un-London Activities. And I think it's disparaging to council as a whole to use that language.
Okay, I had to look up the definition of that to deal with your point of personal privilege. So although based on the definition I looked up, I would say it's an unfortunate approach for a councillor to take. I don't believe it deems warranting the level of a point of personal privilege based on the language that came before that about moving down that path. So it's the same as I kind of ruled before on a different part of the language, that I'm going to deem it as dealt with, and generally caution colleagues to try to use better language, even on the right side of the line. So you can challenge me if you'd like, Councillor.
I'm going to challenge you because I'm quite tired of allowing it.
Okay, so here's what's going to happen, colleagues. I've ruled the point of personal privilege to be dealt with. The councillor disagrees with that and is challenging my decision that it has been dispensed with. So we will move to a vote on challenging the chair. It'll be the decision of the chair to be upheld. So if you agree with me that the point of personal privilege is dealt with, you can vote in the affirmative. If you disagree that it's dealt with, then you vote in the negative. If it is not dealt with, then I will have to proceed to next steps on addressing a point of personal privilege I'll outline those at the time. But is that a question? Yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry, thank you. Just realizing many of this council wouldn't be aware of what next steps is, just
Sure, I will outline it. So
procedurally outline what that would be.
Yes, and I'm going to take some leeway as chair to explain to colleagues the path that we're on so that you understand where we're headed, because this has only happened once before when I'm on council. If council votes to say that my decision stands, it's dealt with. We're done. If council votes to say that my decision at the point of personal privilege is not dealt with, then I will ask the councillor to retract that specific language. It'll be up to them to decide to or not. If they do, then I get another chance to deem it dealt with based on the new information. If the councillor refuses, then I move to the disorderly conduct section of the code of conduct, and we'll have a vote on whether or not to remove the councillor from the meeting for the remainder of the meeting for disrupting council based on not retracting a point or addressing a point of personal privilege. So, but we're on step one of all that right now. And many of those things are not debatable, just so you know. So we just kind of move through the process of decision making. So, Councillor Van Meerden, I know you have your hand up, but I actually have to deal with the challenge to the chair first before we go to anything else, because that has been formally done. So the vote that was before us is that the decision of the chair, the ruling of the chair shall be sustained. So I've ruled that the point of personal privilege is dealt with. So if you agree with that, you vote yes. If you disagree with that, you vote no. Yeah, this is not debatable, so we're just going to put that motion on.
Closing the vote. Carries 8-6. The ruling of the chair is sustained.
Okay, so the point of privilege is dealt with. We're in a debate on this. Councillor Van Meerden still has the floor on this debate, and I'm still timing it. So Councillor Van Meerbergen.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm finished. Thanks very much.
Other speakers on this? We're now back to the main motion.